This evening, steel and cement dispersal verification for home builders to begin next week. Two pleaded not guilty to the 2016 murder of Gafoor's manager. Vendors to occupy the new Mon Repos Market from Monday. In the region, Ecuador cracks down on gang violence after police killings. And internationally, Sri Lankans rally against government crackdown on protests. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. The verification process to move ahead with the disbursement of steel and cement for home builders could begin as early as next week, Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell has disclosed. The Steel and Cement Initiative, announced by President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali earlier this year, will see homeowners benefiting from the support of steel and 1 sling of cement for homes being built under $6 million and 2 slings of cement for those aiming to build homes between $6 million and $25 million.
The implementation stage is going smoothly. In fact, we have over 1,900 persons who of uplifted forms to be able to benefit from that program. In terms of persons who are able now to move to the next phase, we have over 230 such persons, for which in the new week we will commence the investigative stage.
The minister explained that any Guyanese in possession of land can qualify for the initiative, granted that they have pre-approval in the form of their construction plan.
And once we have that pre-approval for the plan, then through the Central Housing and Planning Authority mechanism, you must provide your ownership and we'll move smoothly, fill out the necessary application form.
Suppliers for steel and cement are currently being approved by the Central Housing and Planning Authority Board. Once the Committee for the Housing Subsidies is approved, applicants will begin receiving the materials. The beneficiaries will receive vouchers to uplift their steel and cement from a list of suppliers provided. Persons can register for the steel and cement support by uplifting forms from various offices of the Housing Ministry, the Central Housing and Planning Authority Head Office, or any of the sub-offices in Regions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. They can also download the forms via the Ministry of Housing and Water's website or CHNMPA website on screen. Private developers embarking on home construction are encouraged to utilize the housing support as well. Two men pleaded not guilty to the 2016 murder of Gafoor's manager, Terry Lankan, when they appeared at the Demerara High Court today, Thursday, November 3rd. 27-year-old David Outar, formerly of First Street Herstellin, and 29-year-old Patrick Ross, formerly of Fowlis East Coast Demerara, appeared before Justice Simone Morris Ramlal, where they pleaded not guilty to the 2016 murder of Lankan. The men were represented by attorneys Stacey Goodings and Adrian Thompson. A jury was empaneled to hear the case next Monday. The court heard that on July 21, 2016, the duo murdered Terry Lankan at his Herstellin East Bank Demerara home during the course of furtherance of a robbery. The body of the 55-year-old man was discovered by a neighbor shortly after a male was seen exiting his home with several bags. He was found motionless next to a wardrobe around 11 p.m. with the length of a rope tied around his neck, while several bottles of tablets and photographs of his family members lay nearby. Police later arrested Outar and Ross following the investigation. Stick around after the break. Vendors to occupy the new Mon Repos Market from Monday, and nearly half of the country's population lives on less than $6 per day, World Bank report.
Give your home or office some shine. Fortune Investment Company. We provide reliable commercial and residential professional cleaning services in Guyana. We clean homes and commercial offices. Other services offered are floor care and tile polishing, interior auto detailing services, power washing, weeding and cleaning, and carpet, couch, and mattress cleaning. We are committed to keeping your homes and offices squeaky clean. Call us now at 592-689-7558 or 592 212-639-6365 or visit us at 3430 Jackson North Rumville, Georgetown, Guyana. Fortune Investment Company. When we say clean, we mean spotless.
Cheryl, girl, you want me? Sorry, I'm interrupting y'all.
Marla, I'm here taking the census.
Girl, you done got a husband already, huh?
Miss, I am a census taker, going door to door so that everyone can be interviewed and counted in the National Census 2022.
What is the census though?
Well, the population and housing census is a count of the population and all the buildings every 10 years.
Getting counted transforms an entire nation.
From Region 1 to Region 10.
You know what? I believe our village needs a health center.
I think it needs some roads too. You see the man boots out there, how it full of mud, eh?
That's why I'm asking Mrs. Da Silva a few questions from our questionnaire. We record the answers and then the data is used to help shape the future of the country.
Oh, so the two y'all not.
Oh gosh.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our stores, you're welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries, and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. However, Maison Francois is more than just chocolate. We serve lunch, dinner, afternoon tea, and even Sunday morning mimosa brunch. Our convenient location at 133 Thomas Street, Kitty, makes it the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. Treat yourself with the taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown. Only at Maison Francois.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Vendors displaced following the construction of the new Mon Repos Market will begin occupying the new structure on Monday, November 7th. This announcement was made by the Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Nigel Darmlal, on Wednesday during an engagement with the vendors. The vendors agreed to occupy the new structure while additional work is ongoing. Stalls will be constructed to suit the needs of the vendors displaced since 2021. The market will be equipped with a sprinkler system in the event of a fire, with electricity and sanitary facilities. Also, a fish bay will be constructed for fish vendors to ply their trade. These works are expected to be completed by the end of this month. The new structure will host more than 200 vendors once fully completed, and Minister Damral has urged that order prevails. A market committee will be formed shortly to represent every type of business. Meanwhile, vendors call for the operating hours on Saturdays to be from 5 a.m. to 6 p.m., which Minister Darmlal ordered to be in effect. The minister also ordered the NDC to print leases for the market vendors to ensure proof or documentation of ownership of the stalls. In addition, vending will not be allowed outside of the new market. Ghana has one of the highest rates of poverty in the region. This is according to a recent World Bank report. Ghana has been identified to have one of the highest poverty rates in the Latin America and Caribbean region, with nearly half of the country's population living on less than US $5.50 per day when compared to other countries in the region, despite being one of the region's fastest growing economies. It pointed out that the poverty levels are highest in the sparsely populated interior or hinterland regions where communities have limited access to economic opportunities, healthcare, and public services. The World Bank added that the country experiences high immigration and brain drain, with 39% of all Guyanese currently residing abroad and roughly half of all Guyanese with tertiary education having immigrated to the United States. Despite the poverty level, the World Bank said the country's economy is expanding at an extraordinary rate, fueled primarily by the expansion of oil output, and is expected to remain one of the world's fastest growing economies in the medium term. However, poverty reduction will depend on the performance of the non-oil economy through job creation, including those linked to public investment projects and local content for the oil sector, as well as the redistribution of resource revenues. The report by the World Bank has prompted a call by opposition leader Aubrey Norton for the government to take immediate action to address the poverty issue and to bridge the economic gap between the hinterland and the coastland. Don't go away after the break. Ecuador cracks down on gang violence after police killings, and Sri Lanka rally against government crackdown on protests.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Give your home or office some shine. Fortune Investment Company. We provide reliable commercial and residential professional cleaning services in Guyana. We clean homes and commercial offices. Other services offered are floor care and tile polishing, interior auto detailing services, power washing, weeding and cleaning, and carpet, couch, and mattress cleaning. We are committed to keeping your homes and offices squeaky clean. Call us now at 592-689-7558 or 592-639-6365 or visit us at 3430 Jackson North Rumville, Georgetown, Guyana. Fortune Investment Company. When we say clean, we mean spotless.
Hey, this is your fancy vehicle and that is your house?
Yes, this is my vehicle and actually I'm waiting on my land. I'm actually renting this house for $50,000.
$50,000? You hell boy, you crazy, you mad, you head no good. Why you buy? Look, let me show you that light. Come with me.
Come on down to Fabulous Homes today. Pay $50,000 every month for 36 months or until you reach 50% of your house costs. Move in after 75% of the cost has been paid.
This is wonderful. Let's go. Sign me up.
Alright, let me go and dash away your landlord.
To explore our home ownership program, check our Facebook page for more information or come down to our office at Avalon Friendship.
Hey, Chinese, thanks, man. Thanks a lot. Man.
You got through?
Yes.
Call us at 227-1380 or 615-8740. Fabulous Homes International Realty, changing tenants into homeowners.
At Fabulous Homes, we bring your dreams to life.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Police and soldiers are patrolling the streets of Ecuador after a spat of organized crime attacks. At least 5 officers have been killed by drug gangs, Al Jazeera's Alessandro Rampietti reports.
At least 5 police officers have been killed in the latest violence of a deadly gang war that is gripping Ecuador. On Tuesday, explosive devices went off in the port city of Guayaquil and in the city of Esmeraldas, including an attack on a health center. Officials blamed organized crime for the attacks as retaliation for the transfer of hundreds of gang members from violent and overcrowded prisons to other detention centers. The gang members opposed the transfers. In a video published on social media, several prison guards appear to have been taken as hostages. The men were seen with explosives tied to their bodies. Heavily armed gang members declared war against the government from inside the prison.
If you don't return our people to the pavilion, we will start bombing bus stations, bridges, wherever there are innocent people, and you will be responsible for their deaths.
In response, President Guillermo Lasso has declared a 45-days-long state of emergency in 2 provinces, with a curfew at 9 p.m. every night.
These sabotage and terrorism acts are a declaration of war against the rule of law. We will not allow it.
Earlier this week, 2 headless bodies were left dangling from a pedestrian bridge. Control of the lucrative cocaine market is fueling much of the violent gang warfare. In recent years, Ecuador has increasingly become a transit point for drugs destined to the United States and Europe, which has brought an escalation of violence in cities like Guayaquil as state forces try to stop criminal organizations linked to the international drug cartels. Some analysts say the government is losing control of entire provinces in a country that had never seen this level of violence before.
Impunity is growing, and criminal organizations feel much more emboldened to display their violent rituals because they know they will likely not be arrested, or if they are arrested, they will not be prosecuted.
Police have arrested at least 28 people in response to this week's attacks and seized thousands of explosives. This year, Ecuador forces have confiscated record amounts of cocaine and arrested hundreds of alleged gang members, but their operations have done little to bring relief to areas now dominated by fear. Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera.
And internationally, thousands of Sri Lankans have protested against the government's use of terror laws against demonstrators and a crippling economic crisis. Police, politicians, and business leaders warned against the demonstration, but organizers went ahead. Al Jazeera's Manili Fernandez reports.
United by frustration, anger, and a need to speak out, thousands of Sri Lankans from different communities, faiths, and backgrounds came together in Colombo. They demanded an end to the government's suppression of peaceful protests against the economic crisis. It's brought the country to a near standstill and left people struggling to get by. Activist Joseph Stalin is free on bail after being charged in 4 different cases related to taking part in protests.
People can't live. The cost of things are 3 times that of people's salaries. Farmers, labourers, fishermen can't survive. The government wants to stop people taking to the streets. That is what this repression is about.
Other demonstrators say they want the government to stop using terrorist laws against protesters and to repeal the Prevention of Terrorism Act. The PTA was used against these 2 student leaders who've spent more than 10 weeks in detention. The crowds want them released. Police wrote to protest leaders warning of legal action, and they were out in force to stop the march. Tempers flared.
This is a very peaceful march from Elphinstone to
railway station. But look what they're doing. This is not that right. I must say, Rani Rajapaksa, this is the end. This is the end.
Protesters say President Ranil Wickremesinghe was elected by parliamentarians but has no mandate. They accuse him of being a proxy for the Rajapaksa family, who were forced out of office earlier this year.
I am not angry with them. I am frustrated. I want to change this situation.
These are scenes the government tried hard to avoid, claiming they would deter investors and scare away tourists when it's trying to rebuild the economy. The tourist industry and business community echoed that view. The Human Rights Commission has warned the police that people's right to express themselves must be respected.
It's an absolute free-for-all on the streets of Colombo as thousands of people get onto the streets to voice their frustration. They say despite government assurances that things are on the mend, it certainly feels different day to day. Minette Fernandez, Al Jazeera, Colombo.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. For this edition of Channel 2's Headline News Update. Tune in on Friday at 5:30 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.